And of course, Fat Talks, it comes your way every Thursday at 4 p.m. And we are speaking we're having very interesting conversation. Sorry about that network issues. But if you've just joined us, go to Fat Talks. Now, Fat Talks is on Twitter, and it is Fat Talks one, yes. So go follow us, also be part of this conversation on X Spaces. Sorry, keep calling it Twitter. And we are looking at mindful productivity, balancing efficiency and well-being in this year 2024. My guest today, I beg your pardon, my guest today is none other than Nanza Mariam. And we are trying to understand how you and I can best be productive, but mindfully. Yeah, you can be productive, okay? But there's that thing called being mindful with your productivity and making sure that it actually works for you and makes sense for you. So we are Fidelis Leadership Institute, and we're going to carry out this year. We have quite a number of activities. You should join us and be part of the activities we have. I'm really excited about one particular activity that is coming this month, particularly this month, and that is the Teens Leadership Training. We have the children's leadership training happening the same day, but also the teens leadership training. And this is between 14 and 18 years, just 50K. It's just a day. A day you have your children participating in a lot of activities, learning a lot of interesting things. We're going to talk about empowering tomorrow's leaders today. And your children, I'm sure most of you have seen how excited they are about very different things. And you need to empower them. And guess what? We are here to help you do that. But we're also calling on our third cohort for the FAT Leadership Fellowship, and that will start in February. You need to join it, and we have very interesting tutors. We have very interesting conversations. By the way, it's not just going to class. It's not our usual class of sitting and doing all of, no. It's an interactive sort of class, and we're creating ethical leaders for tomorrow. So we go back to mindful productivity. Before we took a break, Nanza was talking about these side hustles and why they're important. And you and I know that the 3 T's, yeah, she doesn't want us to complicate things, but it made sense. If you have talent, you've got to focus on it as well. But you've also got to look at how that can complement your perhaps 8 to 5 job. Nanza, please proceed from where I was stopped.
Thank you, Lynn. When we took a break, we were talking about, again, the people who have no luxury of choosing.
Yes.
Because they have to work to live. Mm-hmm. And we left off at a point where we were encouraging even those who in this season, again, mindful of the season, that this is not where I will be, or this is not how things will always be. Mm-hmm. You are at a job where you barely have time off, or you spend 15 out of the 24 hours. Yes. You have commuter time that is almost 2 hours in a day. Yes. This is the people that need to actually be extra mindful, because those are the jobs where you're likely to suffer burnout, where you're likely to put your talent on hold. So when we left off, we were encouraging and recommending to those, and even others who find themselves a bit stuck and keep procrastinating on the balance. Start where you are. Don't say, let me work when I'm 28, I'll retire. It's not a practical goal, because we know that in this economy and how things are working, people even work up to 50 and 60. And we all know how hard it is to start something at 50. Sure. So I would like to recommend that you start small where you are. If you do the 8 to 5 and your interest, I'll use a very interesting example. I have a sibling who is in the banking industry, and she's also in the banking industry, but in a department that is very hectic. Like you barely have time to breathe. It's delicate, it's fragile. You blink and crowd hits you and all that. So what she has done, and I don't know if it was intentional, she loves music. It's what feeds her. It may not be a side hustle now, but she has carried that mindfulness of music is what gives me my fuel. She has made it known at work. Everyone knows her. She's the girl to go to for playlists. Wow. While she's serving others through playlists.
Wow.
She's serving herself. So much so that one day I saw her resume, she was going somewhere. And after writing all her academic credentials, at the end they said, I'm just giving a title. Maybe she's the manager with the baddest playlist.
No.
It's on her CV.
No.
And then on top of that, every end of year, guess who's chairing the welfare committee?
She's the girl.
She's the girl to go to because she has managed. She's not waited to see when I retire and I go to the Bahamas.
Then I'll enjoy
And
it.
banking is very hectic, but she has found a balance that leaves her to be productive while serving them in a situation like that, and also serving her passion. We don't know if one day she's even, the way things are going, there's a cost for everything. Maybe when she has the means, she might even do a DJing course. Then she'll be a DJ at 50 out of passion.
Maybe she could even start earning from that.
Exactly. But while the money comes, her fuel tank is not empty. That is what we are saying. The mindful productivity is starting right where you are.
Absolutely.
Not to put aside and say, when I get to 50, or when I have X amount of money in the bank. And if we understand the principle, because it's all about principle, it may not be that the efficiency is to make your employer happy. It is one thing that reinforces each other. The more you are fulfilled as a person, the more productive you are. The more productive you are, the better you hit your targets. The better you hit your targets, the more you get noticed. The more you get noticed, the promotion. Then you have more money, more margin, more time. It's really a cautious cycle of self-improvement.
A cautious cycle of self-improvement. But before that, you did mention the example you gave us of your sister. You don't know if it was intentional. Now, that comes to mind. The intentionality of our whys.
Yes, back to the why.
Back to the whys. Why should we be intentional? And then there's another issue that we want to talk about. The gratitude, the issue of gratitude being, because everybody's talking about gratitude. This year is for gratitude. Nanza, I don't know if you've encountered that, and why we ought to be why we ought to be grateful for the far we've come and for what we are doing and maybe yet to do. But most importantly, the intentionality of our whys.
I see where you're coming with the gratitude. That if you come from a school of thought of the glass is half full, you look at it as a blessing. This is not supposed to be a show for preaching.
No, we're not preaching.
But we can't help but acknowledge.
Yes.
But when you see the glass as half full, first of all, it starts with you. It kind of tweaks your brain. There is no way you can be grateful and sulky. Just the psychology of gratitude is such that the minute you choose the gratitude route, your demeanor changes. Yes. You become a better team member, you become a better parent, you don't see your blessings as burdens.
Yes.
What that does, again, reinforces your energy. If you look at your kids and you're like, wow, I am blessed to have these children, I am blessed to have this desk, I am blessed to serve in this organization. It does something to your psychology. Then you show up as a full person. The joke is you don't have to look like your hustle, but I think it comes down to how we see things. Two people can have the same job, and one is full of gratitude and the other is full of just not in it. It doesn't matter what they say, and it will show up in their results. It will show up in their results. True. So if you know you have this job and you know it's what you have for now, gratitude is a good place to start. It's another segment of mindfulness, because when you come from a grateful place, you work at it like I'm privileged. Yeah. The other thing quickly, what would be if it was 1B of the gratitude and mindfulness, which goes in tandem with the tongue. We say things like, I have to go to work. I have to submit this report. I have to do this analysis. How about you start with speech that empowers you? Psychologists have proven that how you say things also affects you. How about I get to sit in this office? You see the difference?
Yeah.
I have to do work. I get to do this job, meaning I am lucky to have this job, or it's a privilege, and I'm choosing to serve in this capacity. I get to raise these children.
Not I
have to feed these children. No. Have to is dutiful, it's stoic, it's draining. I get to do this. So that is the mindfulness in speech, in thought, and then it follows through our action. And this
Still goes back to the Bible.
Bible, everything is all about reinforcing positive energies.
Yeah. The Bible says, out of the heart's fullness,
The mouth speaketh.
the mouth speaketh. So, what you, I remember they used to tell us that you've got to preach, not to yourself. I'm borrowing the word. I'm failing to get the other word. Where you say what you prophesy on yourself is what will manifest. Yeah, I think I forgot.
We could use that approach. We could also go for the psychology one. Affirmation does something to you and your system. I will just tell listeners, because you said I'm an FLI alumni, just to give them a glimpse.
Yeah.
Because of our mindset and wiring, it's even very easy to lose track of everything you have known, to doubt your own truth. And that is where mindfulness comes to speak. When I went to the FLI class, actually, I didn't know I was signing up until I got to class. I came, where they invite you for the lunch to see if this will be a good fit before you start the class. I think you were there.
I was there.
Yes. And the first trick, which I now call most important trick, is they ask you to define yourself, or to not just to introduce yourself.
Define who you are.
Yes. So I come into this class and I had my plan well laid out. Oh, this is a new space. I want to come as a nobody and just be. But this is a leadership course.
Yeah.
So the facilitator and the people of the day ask us to define ourselves, so to speak. And then tactfully, again, I make sure I'm the last one to speak.
Oh, this
so I'm playing my tactic. You are the one asking us to do it. Yes. So everybody goes, I'm so and so, I'm so and so, and so and so. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. I don't know if you remember, that was class 1 or class 0, because that was like the meet and greet for the class.
Yes.
I defined myself as the leader without title.
I don't think I remember.
Well, I did, and it was just my cover story of I don't want to be found. But that was a statement to say, I don't know who I am. So how is FLI going to bring out my treasure if I am still hiding behind vagueness? That is why we're talking about the power of tongue and speech and affirmations. Yes. So me coming to that class by way of testimony, I started owning who I am as a leader. And look where we are. It's hardly a year, because that class was in August. Not forgetting that all my life I have been known as a leader. Anyone who knows me, I'm synonymous with leadership. But life happens. When life happens to you, you start to doubt even the thing. It's like telling. Yes. So the mindfulness is you remembering who you are.
And maybe for the sake of our listeners and our viewers, I think you ought to understand what mindfulness is all about. You might be thinking it's
too much English.
It's too much English, but it's not. It just combines elements of consciousness. You're aware, you're consciously aware and focused on the present moment with effective productivity strategies. Okay, now I think I'm complete.
You've started the English.
Yeah, I was trying to bring it out. But you're conscious, you're aware of yourself in the moment. You're like, okay, so I'm here and I need to get to there. What do I need in
this moment?
If I need in the long term, if I want to also focus on the long term, maybe shift from there to the other. But it's in that moment. You've got to be self-aware of, okay, so I am say an officer A and I do A, B, C, D, but I think I want to be maybe a manager. What do I need in there? Do I need do I need to be, improve on myself? How do I improve on myself? Do I need to go to class? Do I need to do it? It's all about focusing on who you are. I'm not saying people, misunderstand self-awareness and focusing on self to be selfish and other things. But you're being intentional about your life. And these things we learn late in our year as we grow up. In the 20s, you're basically enjoying your life. And then 30 hits you, and like, wait, I set out to be married by 25, masters by 20.
No, I'm 35.
Now I'm 35.
No masters, no marriage.
Masters, no marriage, no children, nothing. You get. So we're looking at the intentionality of your whys. Come up with your whys. Perfect. But what, are you just following the trend? Can you calm down a little bit? Introspection.
To that point,
Yes.
time is fast running. I just want us to remember we have all the resources we need. I think there's such a thing as getting stuck in acquiring knowledge. We are guilty in this era of podcasts, YouTube. We are just amassing knowledge. In fact, sometimes we need to get to a point where you say, I have all the knowledge and the skills I have. I need to just start. I'm guilty as charged. You can get stuck in the acquisition so much so that you do nothing about it. So I just want to make it a bit, to say it for the people at the back. You have all the knowledge and the info you need. You have the networks to start. You probably don't have all the finances, but you have the 1, 2, 3 to start. So the mindfulness, again, of knowing I have. Look at what you have. The mentality of the glass is half full, not half empty.
Not half empty.
Yes.
It's good. It's the glass is half
full.
Not glass, not empty. Not half empty. Look at, appreciate the little that is on ground. Start with that. You never know what more is coming your way. And like Nanza said, time is fast spent. But as we wind up, Nanza, as we dive, actually, we are diving into this year. I keep telling my people around me, we are diving into this year. But if we're diving in with mindfulness, what do I keep at the mind of my mind? What do I keep at the mind of my mindfulness?
Yes, your mindfulness is your authentic self. Don't waste energy and time trying to be very many things. First of all, newsflash, people don't really care. Everybody has their lot. So even the people you're trying to impress, I have learned the hard way, don't care.
They don't care.
2, get the priorities for the season. We are hung up on priorities being, it's not a permanent slot. So have the realness to sit with your priorities and look at them squarely.
Yes.
I have a sister. Again, I'm blessed to have sister. This is another sister.
Okay.
One day we are talking things and she says, I'm going to do ABC because I'm hosting guests and I'll do it this way, and I'll do the grocery shopping and what. And then I speak to her around 5 o'clock. It's like, around towards Christmas. The traffic jam is so bad. I can't get to the place where I hope to get this. So in the real fixer mode, I say, well, if you're in corner A, the nearest supermarket is this.
Oh, by the way, Madame is Madame Fixer. She's very quick at fixing things.
Especially when it comes to food. So I'm like, that thing, you just have to go and do it. Like the nearest supermarket, I mentioned the name and told her, just turn left, turn right, and then I call back 15 minutes. Again, me, fixer, control. I'm asking her, so have you got this? Have you got this? Like, no, I'm still seated in the parking lot, stuck.
And you, I'm sure you jump.
And I'm like, she's like, one, if I have to shop in this place, then the shopping list differs from what I like. And in my head, I'm like, for Christ's sake, onions are onions. But the mindfulness, what I learned is for her to function. She knows that she cannot have a short last-minute change of plans. It makes her dysfunctional. Meaning she says, I'm not you.
Exactly.
I need to sit in this car, reorganize my brain.
By the way, that's me. I don't.
Yes. And so the mindfulness, if she had gone in with Nanza's speed, maybe she would have spent more money than planned or forgotten something. So she took her 2 hours after all this traffic jam. So sat in the car, reorganized her brain. Well, if I was next to her, I'd be saying, tomatoes are tomatoes, Royco is Royco. So the mindfulness is, they say the mastery of self is better than conquering the world. She knew herself.
Yes.
She's like, a change of plan takes me completely off. So I need to sit and recenter. So those little pockets of knowing yourself.
Yes.
And somehow communicating them, because man is not an island.
Absolutely.
if she sat in her car and just switched off her phone, yet she's expecting me to support in that role, I would say maybe she doesn't care, maybe she's got another help. So find a way to let, especially your teammates, that guys, you know what? When I'm hungry, please let me go for lunch. When I come back, I'll be more productive. I know a friend, again, I think I'm just a lover of people. Yes, she's a doctor.
Important.
She's a doctor, and in her early years, she used to get reviews for the most hardworking ones. And she was very junior at that time in one of the very fragile hospital departments, which requires people to be fast and furious because this is life.
Yeah.
And she used to get reviews and praises of being the best doctor. Okay, good reviews in the department, employee of the month, employee of the year. And I'm like, this one never works the way we work. And then she told me, so at some point one of the bosses was leaving and I attended their party and they were saying, and he was giving remarks about the team. I was like, this particular employee works from a position of rest. If you want the best of her, let me call her Lynn, let her take her nap. If it is 3, let her sleep. But when she wakes up,
You know,
she is going to work and give you the best results the next day. So don't be hung up on schedules. The mindfulness, whether you're a leader or you're an employee. And the problem with being a leader, or the good thing with being a leader, you get to choose the terms. And this is where we have to be, again, mindful. Don't be the one who tells people, me at 5, I'm out of here.
No.
Find the person to whom you report, explain to them, say, I tell you, I have to pick my kids at this stage in your life. It matters that I pick them from school. But trust me, if office is open at 8, I will give this extra hour tomorrow. I will be here 7 in the morning to make up. And when you say it, mean it.
Mean it.
People will see you leaving at 4:45 and they won't be rolling their eyes because they know when Nanza leaves at 4:45, she'll be the first in the office. And if the report is for 8, it will be there. So that's where the integrity comes in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nanza, I wish we could continue with this conversation. I mean, I got carried away as we come to the closure of this conversation. Very interesting. Many things I take home include us being focused. Yes, there's that. They say take breaks. Stay physically active and nurture your mental well-being, and these are integral aspects of being productive, and mindfully so at that. So in your whys, please, can you reset? It's not too late. Go back, sit down, look at your whys. Where is my mindful productivity in the whys? Where is my intentionality in the whys? And am I really setting realistic whys for myself this year? I think those are some of the key issues you need to focus on. And then realize that you cannot do it all. And it's not written anywhere that you've got to sacrifice yourself because you've got to be super somebody or super somebody. You've got to realize that it is you. You have the time, by the way, you have the resources, and you have the talent, okay, to do all that. So find a way, find a balance. Thank you, Nanza.
Thank you, Lynn, for having me. Thank you for our talks.
Very insightful, and definitely reminding you that we'll be carrying out our FAT fellowship, FAT Leadership Fellowship that is, by the way, displayed on the screen. We are calling for applications. We start in February. So please apply today. Go to our website and be part. Nanza is a FAT fellow. I am a FAT fellow. And so really, guys, you are missing out. You have no idea. And also reminding you, next week, we have one of the best events. I can't wait to see your children. We have children, we have teams leadership training that is targeting ages 14 to 17. We are empowering tomorrow's leaders today, and that is going to happen on 18th, I beg your pardon. We also have the children's leadership training that is also happening the same day. So we are looking at 7 to 13. We have those groupings. Please, please, please reach out to Fidelis Leadership Institute. We are on our on all social media platforms. Go to our website, find out how you can be part of this and how your children can be part of this. Otherwise, wish you the very best. My name is Lynn Komugisha. We'll catch you again next time on Thursday, 4 p.m. Fast Talks again. more interesting conversations this year, and we're being focused, we're being mindful about what we do, how we do it, and where that leads us. See you soon.